Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Fox and Burger podcast. I'm your co-host Fox.
And I am Burger.
And for today's show, we're going to the Lion City, that's right, you guessed it, Singapore. Joining us tonight is Hollud the horse and Kaiyoki the Shiba Inu, both Singaporean furs. Hollud is a videographer as well as the admin for the SG Furs Twitter, who also served as a volunteer for LIFC, that's Little Island Furcon, back in 2019. Kaiyoki was a staff member for LIFC in 2019 and was also a staff member for WAF, West Aussie Fur Frenzy. We're both really happy to have our first Singaporeans on the show, so please give them a big awu. But you're
so professional.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Yeah, good to have you here on the podcast. How are you two doing today, by the way?
I had a good day. I've been cooking pretty much the whole day. I made horchata. I had I made some mince for the rest of the week.
I haven't heard horchata in a long time. Not since I
Me
went
too.
to a Mexican restaurant back in the States.
I was about to say that.
It's really easy. You can do it yourself. You can do it too, Hollud. I believe in you.
What?
It's milk. It's just milk.
I'll have you know I'm lactose intolerant.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
I did not know that. I actually didn't know that.
And you were eating a whole tub of Ben and Jerry's before we started recording.
I'm fine.
It's always
I'm fine.
lactose intolerant people who do this.
So let's start with our first question. I think Burger you usually do this, so take it away.
Oh yeah, sure. So, moving on, let's talk about you for a second. Talk about your fursona. Kaiyoki and Hollud, tell us about your fursonas.
Do you want to go first, Hollud?
You can go first.
Okay.
I like how we're so polite.
Alright, so I'm a Shiba Inu. The only really distinct features, I think, are sort of red hair, and the tip of the tail being a bit red, as well as sort of mint greenish eyes. That's a rough description of my sona, Hollud.
I'm a black horse. There's nothing fancy about me.
So you're BoJack Horseman.
If BoJack Horseman was black.
And less depressed.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm
A
black.
little bit less depressed.
Yeah, I'm not
Sure.
that depressed, but I went through therapy, and I'm just a normal black horse.
Wink.
So our next question is to kind of go along with that. How did you guys join the fandom? I guess we can keep that order. Maybe we start with Kaiyoki, then Hollud. Let's just keep that order.
Okay. Mine's a little bit embarrassing. So growing up, there was lots of Disney and seeing Robin Hood being captured and Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. But I really kind of came into awareness of the fandom when I was Googling stuff for Inuyasha. So I found the fandom through anime. There were a few extra embarrassing steps, but I found myself on the Photopia forums, actually, if anyone remembers those.
Good lord.
I'm trying to remember if I do. I do know Inuyasha though. That was my childhood.
So
Was
embarrassing,
it-
it's so old.
God, was it like the little, was it Shippo or Kilby or what was that fox thing
Yeah.
called?
Shippo.
Shippo.
Shippo, yeah.
Shippo. Translates to tail. I love them. It was really cute. But I mean, most of the anthropomorphic characters in that show were really, really cute, and that's why I Googled it. That was a bomb-ass theme song.
Which one? There's multiple.
The first season's one. That's the one I remember anyway.
Right.
The, change the world.
Mm-hmm.
Hollud.
It's old. I'm even older. I'm sorry.
Don't old shame me, okay?
Yeah, I discovered the fandom alt fan furry, if that rings a bell to anybody.
Oh.
Yeah, those were the days when dial-up was still a thing. I happened to stumble upon news groups when that was how furry content was being shared, stories, art, stumbled along it. Took me a while to find my species, but eventually, kind of like I like the whole horses thing. It's like beauty, power, and grace. It's like some Aston Martin thing, but yeah, it's eventually I settled on that because I associated with horses the most. So yeah.
Aww. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I guess I should add a bit to mine. I was originally a wolf. So like a basic
What?
generic wolf. I'm really sorry.
You
I'm
had
like
like the whole
I know.
Inuyasha thing going on.
And then no, I was Shiba Inu. And it was like I decided on that species a year before Doge became a thing. And so like I had this nice comfortable period of nobody knowing what a Shiba Inu was. And suddenly everybody would be like, oh,
Dogecoin.
like just walking up to me being like, wow, like thank you so much. It's not like I've heard this 50 times before. Just burn me. Continue. Sorry.
You're not the only one that feels old. It's just my first experiences with the fandom was a forum, an internet forum as well. But it was what was it, like LoneStarFurs.org?
Whoa.
Oh
my god.
I've heard of those. I heard of that. I never used it, but I'm aware of them.
Yeah.
I've not heard of that. Is it something Texas related, like Texas Furry related?
Mm-hmm. Lone Star
Had a
Texas Furries. It's how we coordinated our fur mates and our little chat groups as well. Back before we basically just used social media and like Telegram for everything.
It's really cool because before Facebook, which I think is that's kind of where I entered like the Singapore scene, was the SG Fairs Facebook kind of era. Before then, it was like, was it ASEAN Fairs, Hollud?
Anthroasia.
Anthroasia, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, ASEAN. Wow.
Hey, you all remember Friendster?
Oh, it's old.
So let's move on to your contributions to the fandom. Hollud, tell us about your experience being a videographer.
I think my name was brought up in a previous video.
It was.
Yeah, I think it was with Polar.
Shout out to Polar.
Hey, shout out Polar. Hi, Polar.
Hi, Polar.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of videos for like the local furry community. I think since 2010, if I remember correctly. That's when we had a lot of public furry outings. I think we went to the zoo. We had, I think, like one of the furries, he stays near the Singapore American School, and every Halloween, everyone would just go out.
Should we dox him?
Everyone would just go out, dress up, and it would be the most insane Halloween. And we did it for a couple of years because it tends to fall on the weekends, so it's easier for us to get out. But yeah, I've been doing videos of that, so I volunteered. I should preface it that I'm not super professional. I mainly do, as highlighted in the previous videos on my iPhone, because I feel that the camera that you work with, the best camera to work with is the one that you have with you.
Yep.
And I find that, hey, iPhones have been getting better and better over time.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just stick with it? And it's small, portable, can get you into tight spaces and all. So yeah, I've mainly done. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.
So like,
it's okay,
I found out that you did videography because I saw you with the whole shoulder rig. There's like half a mech on your shoulders, right? And then on the end of it is a iPhone.
Yeah,
I was like, what is this person? What are they doing?
I didn't see the shoulder rig, but I did see you with the monopod, and I remember you were filming. I think the first time I saw you film
I remember
in action, it was either Infinity 2017 or it was Furum 2018. I think in Furum 2018 we actually talked like one-on-one. I remember we woke up like on a Saturday morning. I was talking to you and your significant other for breakfast. But anyway, like that's the point being, like I really do feel like I see no one else, at least at Asian Furcons, I see no one else filming with a iPhone. with a monopause. I was like, wow, this guy's cool.
Oh god, yeah.
Who's this person churning out like professional grade videos with an iPhone?
It's like, oh, hang on, I gotta take a call. And they like take the phone off the end of my ring.
You had like a 3D printed part, didn't you? To like mount it all together.
No. It's
or am I misremembering?
It's all bought online. Don't worry about it. It's available on Amazon.
Nice.
Yes, but yeah, I've mainly been doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I volunteered at Little Island Furcon.
Thank you.
I think we had. You're welcome. we have two other people helping out with video. I volunteered for videography, and then I kind of switched to AV because my gimbal died. So I became DJ Hollud, sort of.
I mean, part of the reason was also because, we don't have a lot of people with AV skills, and I need to be somewhere else. Hollud, you know what this lever does, right? Just stand here. Thank you.
Oh no, yeah, I started doing the announcements.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next.
The My First Furcon panel. Wink.
I feel like that's a good transition over to Kaiyoki then, because I know you also you worked at LIFC as a staff member. So what was your role?
So my role was actually social media, and I wasn't really meant to have anything to do with the floor work. But as it so happens, another beautiful segue. I'm also a director for WAF, and also the head of events, or events lead as I prefer to call it there. And being from that role and that background, I would see a need and I would go there and take care of it. And so I ended up helping a lot out with events and sort of coordinating people, running some panels myself, and just sort of helping out and making sure things are going smoothly on the event side.
Mm-hmm. So for LAFC, you said that you're just like strictly social media.
I mean, it's kind of flexible, right? Because if stuff's happening on the floor, the priority is getting the con running, so you just kind of do it. I find myself doing that at a lot of cons, like at Forum, for example. If I can't remember what it was. It was just before the big like Labo battle thing they had with the fursuits, and the audio was like dying because one of their boxes had like fried, and so I sort of stepped in and sort of held the rig together until the hotel staff could bring up a new, I don't remember what it was, like a splitter or something.
So you're the one who's like responsible for like the tweets, or was that you
for
LIFC? Yeah, for LIFC.
Most of them. I'll say the vast majority of them.
Oh, so that's you've been writing all those, and then I remember you guys were doing like the countdown to LIFC, and then they had like a bunch of like those like little mini trailer things. I thought that was really cool.
So the mini trailer things were actually an initiative by one of the other videographers. YH. And they did like such amazing work. I just sort of just like packaged it and put it on the social medias, and that was it.
Gotcha.
That was really it. My role as social media manager is more because I am overseas in Australia, and hence my more heavier involvement in WAF. So the sort of best way I can contribute remotely to LIFC is to just handle things that don't really require a whole lot of coordination, just an ear to the ground, knowing what's going on and tweeting based off that, really.
I want to ask for a little bit more clarification. So for WAF, how many years have you served as the event lead? And did you serve as like the event lead for all those years, or did you were you like initially like a volunteer, then you later switched to event lead?
So I was, my first year there, I was a volunteer, and I just happened to work a lot with the then event lead. Then I became event staff the following year, and the year after that, they just needed someone to step into that role, and so I did. Became a director with 2 other people at the time. So the director team is usually 3 to 4 people in WAF. They had a spot that they needed to fill, so I filled it and became the head of events.
Gotcha.
Head of events I've sort of been for, I think 4 years now, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, I will say roughly about 4 years. And I'm retiring this year because of other circumstances in my life, and just getting really busy. I work like almost 60 hours a week, so which doesn't leave me a lot of time for con stuff, so I can hand that over.
Had kind of like a follow-up question. Speaking of cons, though, I wanted to ask how many cons have you guys been to, or and which cons have you been to? Because I think that's going to be relevant for our next section. And again, we can kind of keep the same order: Kaiyoki, then Hollud.
Oh no, Hollud went first the last time, so surely he has to go first this time. He has gone. He's been to so many more cons than I have. Okay. Look, you want me to go first? So? I can list it all off very quickly, right? Furdo, Furwag, WAF, Fur Out West, LIFC, Furum, and I think that's it. Oh, I guess Furry, if you really wanted to count that. It's not really a con, but it was like sort of a late house party.
Wait, Fur Out
Remember
West?
Furry? Yeah, Fur Out West. It's the other West Australia Furry con. And they kind of both tenuously coexist, and I just go to both. Ding, thumbs up, can't see it.
Tenuously, I like the word.
We'll talk about that after the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. I was originally supposed to go to Convergence, which was I was originally supposed to go in, I think, January 2015.
Wait, where is it?
Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne.
Melbourne.
It would have been Melbourne. Was it the Egypt one?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a latecomer to conventions. My first convention was only in 2015. Originally, it was supposed to be Convergence, but it just happened to clash with my Army Reservist training.
Right.
So, we
you
have
told me this before.
Yeah, so for those not to know, like in Singapore, we are conscripted until the age of 40. So it just happened to be my very first military call-up. So I scrapped that, but I still have my Australian visa. So I ended up going to Furdo. So Furdo was my very first convention. Subsequently, I went to JMOF and Forum. Those are my primary conventions. I went to Infinity once. Sorry.
That's right. 2017, right? Because that was like the first time I met you. Yeah, I have a picture. Yeah. That was the first time I went. We had an awesome time in Taiwan. I really, really want to go back, but it's just that scheduling here at work can be a little bit tricky. If we have a travel bubble with FG, would you come this year? Because it's confirmed for this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I
damn man.
So what I did.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here, JC. You heard that JC's open.
Sorry, I don't want to over promise anything.
For you, Hollud.
But what I did was I basically, because at work they were telling us to clear leave. So what I did was I planned my leave around conventions. Yes. So it's like, what conventions are there? I think WAF is in September, right? Kaiyoki?
Yes, WAF is in late September usually.
Yeah, so what I did was like, I can bucket a little bit here in September. I can bucket a little bit in Furry. I can bucket a little bit in Furry in December. So it's like September, October, December. And then, JMOF is in January. It's like, JMOF. So yeah, I've been planning like my leave, but with COVID and all, it's hard to say if we ever get out. I really hope we get vaccinated soon. But
right.
Yeah.
Oh, have you not started vaccines yet?
I'm not that old. They're only releasing it for 45 and up. So I'm not 45 yet. Last I checked.
It's okay. Your turn will come soon. Block out some sick leave for yourself in advance. That's my experience.
Going back to Little Island Furcon, can you tell us what your general experiences would be at that convention? Like, what is it like to go to this convention?
Hollud, do you want to go first? Mine will take a bit of time.
Okay, I mean, I think we have two unique perspectives. Kaiyoki as staff and me as volunteer/attendee. I think LIFC, in comparison to the more established conventions, it reminded me quite a lot like Furdo, where things are very easy, they're paced out, you don't have a lot of overlapping schedules. so
Yeah.
you have time to go browse around. The event space is also quite compact, so it's very easy to meet up with people. It's also, I mean, Singapore is like quite centrally located, so it's quite easy to run around. So yeah, I mean, from a attendee / volunteer perspective, it just felt really chill.
Hollud, talk about the water feature. Come on, we paid so much money for it.
What a feature! The one in the plaza.
Yeah,
the one where
it was a whole ass,
we all
mini
got
forest.
up there. We didn't pay crap. It just happened to be there. But we had to
Which cost
pose.
a lot of money.
But if you know Singapore, like, I think we didn't want to hold like when we did the big fursuit photo shoot, we didn't want to hold people out too long because Singapore is very hot and humid, and we didn't want anyone to die. So it's like, get your shots and get out.
Please leave.
Yes, get into air conditioning, because air conditioning is a godsend.
Yeah, because the venue, if I'm not mistaken, was sort of like that. Like there was like the outside patio area, and then it was like the rooms, from the outside patio area, you went into the rooms, like the powder rooms, and there's also like the artist alley. So just to kind of, we'll flash pictures, of course, of what the venue looks like. 'Cause I took a few myself, and I'm pretty sure there's some official pictures out there. But just to kind of give the audience like a general idea, it's not like an entirely indoor con as you might want to expect. So I just wanted to point that out for the audience.
Yeah, that's right. So long as you're outside, you're literally outside. If you're inside, you are in like one of the convention rooms.
It was also interesting because like the outside area was also technically the general area, and then that's where there was like tabletop games.
Oh, yeah.
There was like unlimited coffee, which I helped myself to like 10 cups of coffee. So
it was really funny. Like, don't tell the hotel staff this, but we were only meant to have the coffee for the morning, and they just forgot to pack it up. So we just kept on drinking.
No way, dude. No way,
We just kept
man.
drinking.
I drank at least like 10 lattes that day. I know like the cup is fairly small, so like I just drank lattes throughout the whole day.
Well, look at it this way. We're not gonna be back there next year or whichever year we're gonna be back. But we're not gonna be back there, so we've got a new hotel. So
sure.
So Kaiyoki, your perspective, please.
Oh my god. So
wait, quick question.
I mean, yeah.
Can we ask, or can I ask? Because I don't think we touched upon this yet. What was actually the attendee count? Because I think that might also help our audience know like the size of the event we're dealing with. 100 something, right?
Yeah, it was 100. I can't remember if it was 150 or 170.
So not including staff, it was around 150, like just above 150, somewhere there. Including staff, yeah, that's where you get the 170-ish mark.
Yeah. All right.
That's bigger
staff
than
and
I thought.
volunteers. Yeah, it definitely didn't really feel that way, thankfully, because the area was kind of like spread enough that it wasn't a problem.
Yeah. Yep.
We kind of just spilled out into the lobby as well and delighted some of the hotel staff. Oh man, that was so lovely. I guess for my experience, it would have been a bit different because Furdo that year and LIFC were back to back. So my experience was literally going to Furdo, having a beautiful, wonderful time there. For some reason, there was like an international fireworks competition happening there. So every night, there was just go to a room party, you observe whatever countries are out there doing their huge like fireworks displays and stuff. People had drones flying by. It was really awesome. And then from that, Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, going to Singapore and just starting con work, like hitting the floor running, preparing for the arrival of our esteemed guests, all 6 of them.
And so what were the guests?
Much sweating occurred. For the con itself, I kind of have mixed memories because I was doing roughly 16-hour days at that point because you wake up, you go and start doing con things, and you don't really stop.
Right.
And Hollud, bless this horse, like kept buying me food. I literally would not have eaten as much as I did if not for Hollud buying me like little burrito stuffs. I still remember the burritos; they're really good.
Quick question I was trying to ask, like, who were the guests? Like, again, just to let our audience know for LSC that year.
You've mentioned them before. They were Pepper Coyote and Fox and More. And because there was this big, like, Australia-Singapore league, they'd actually decided to bring... so Fox decided to bring his parents, and Pepper decided to bring his mum and his boyfriend, More.
Shout out to Moore.
Yeah, shout out to More.
Oh,
Hi,
we
Moore.
should. Oh, we forgot to bring him on the show. Next time. We'll come back. We'll come back.
Yeah, he can come back to somewhere else on the list, right?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
But yeah, so we had the two like guest of honors, and we had their 2+1s as well. And I think for a first year con, it was a little challenging, but more or less, I think they had a reasonable time, like good time, right? Fed them durian, made sure they were relatively safe, and dry.
I think Pepper did a whole video on his
yeah, he did. He has it on his
transatlantic adventure.
That is,
yeah, dude.
That's actually how I first.
I love watching the video.
Yeah, that's how I first
Sorry,
found out about LIFC. Actually.
Oh.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
so the
awesome,
GOH is working. You can't see it, but I'm giving you a smile. But yeah, so it was long, and the days being as long as they were, my memories of them are a little bit spotty, and it mostly is like, doing events, maybe like hosting the My First Furcon panel, going to relieve the registration table, going to check on the.
That's when I first met you, technically.
Yeah.
Hey, did you say someone like pulled it? Was it Smile? Who pulled us like together?
I don't remember. Like, I heavily apologize, but I don't super remember interacting for long periods of time with you. I just remember like
Same.
this rather deep and pleasant voice and the rough like the rough looks of your face. And then when COVID happened, right? I don't remember which server we were in, but then I was like, I recognize that deep and pleasant voice.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
So that's who you were. Yeah, so it was kind of like a double meeting where like I knew of you and you were sort of sitting in the back of my head. I wonder who this nice person is. And then sort of actually meeting you properly when COVID happened.
I met a lot of people after COVID, interestingly enough. But anyway, overall though, like did you guys feel that, and I guess this also extends to Hollud, did you guys feel like it was a success?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was, at least on the staff side, I was quite worried, I guess. 'Cause, I mean, first year con jitters, right? That's what I assume it was. And the fact that in my experience with WAF, going into the start of the con, we were slightly less prepared, but each individual staff member had a higher level of enthusiasm, which I think is normal for a first year con. And so it all kind of just worked out really well. Magically, I don't really know how or why, but it worked out well. And I think a lot of the attendees had a good time. And that concert at the end as well, like, it still breaks my heart thinking about it.
No, there was a lot of clapping. It's
I brought up because I had to go send off. I did. I had to go send off Fox's parents because there was no way we were letting them go to the airport by themselves, even though they've probably spent more time in Singapore than I have, really. Because I think it was their story to tell, but they spent some time in Singapore some previous point in their life. And so I could only be there for the first half of the concert. And I'm just like, loving like Lighthouse especially. Oh my god, my heart. brought up my phone, turned the torchlight on, sing it. Yeah, I loved it.
I had a question though, kind of a small question, because I know you went to Furry first before going back to Singapore for LAFC. Did you actually travel with the GOHs or
no? I traveled one day in advance, pretty much because I wanted to go there and start the con prep and also be there to receive them.
Right.
Together with so our GOH liaison, and he did a really good job as well. Was the Xander? Yeah, that's the name. Sorry, I'm sorry.
That's the man.
Is it the ship?
Sanchez.
Xander ship guy?
The real Dong Sampa. And Dong Sampa translating to like trash dog because he used to be called Trasher. Trasher? No, Thrasher. Not Trasher.
Thrash.
But
Thrash.
in Singapore we don't really have a distinction within T and TH that as much as other countries do. And so it just became Trasher. Yeah, we just wanted to be there and be ready to receive them.
I think you guys did a great job, or at least from what I could tell through Pepper's video, because I remember you and I watched that video. Was it last year? Sometime in the summer, I think.
COVID.
Or it would in the States. It would have been in the summer, like I don't know, June. And then we were just like going through like old memories of LAFC, and then like I remember, didn't you guys go to like KTV at one point or something like that?
Yeah. Oh my god.
I think Hollud was there in a suit.
Hollud was there. Hollud
No,
was
I
leading All Star.
No,
You were in
I
a
wasn't-
shirt. You weren't in a suit,
was-
but you were in an office
I-
shirt.
I came after work.
Yeah, exactly. You were in an office shirt. And we were doing All Star and stuff. It was great.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Oh, copyright strike. No. Okay.
They don't scan YouTube, right? Cough. Yeah, but my throat at the end of that was fairly gone. And so I kind of just like hoarsely, sung along.
I love Pepper Coyote's mom. She was such a sweetheart.
Oh my god. I mean, they're all sweethearts, really. I love them all. I can't wait.
Hey,
till,
she
we get
had
to see
like
them again.
Jaeger shots with us. Jaeger
she-
and Red
She
Bull.
can drink a lot
Good
more than
lord.
I can.
Oh yeah.
Oh, holy shit.
All right, she's into
Is this
Jaeger
like a
bombs. I
Texan
can get
thing?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to her, man. I don't know. I don't think she has a Twitter, but shout out to her.
Hey, Michael, why don't you tell us about LIFC?
Yeah, I think I have an interesting perspective on that because, again, I'm coming primarily as an attendee, right? And then also that was technically my first time in Singapore, so I had like that. For me, it was like a
bless.
whole new experience, to be honest. I remember walking into like I'm probably gonna butcher the name. Is it Jewel Zhang Yi? It's CH, but it's like ZH, right? Zhang Yi, right? I don't know.
Well, to be honest, because Singapore is very sort of multicultural, we all speak broken English. Everyone speaks English, so it's just Changi.
Right.
And you just say it, and sometimes you might have an accent, sometimes you might get it slightly wrong. I don't think there's really like an official pronunciation for it that I can find anyway. Hollud, do you have another perspective on this matter?
Changi.
Changi.
Yeah, but I don't know. No one really knows.
So I remember like because it was like recently completed at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Back in 2019. And so
Yeah.
I remember walking in there. It's like this mall area, and then it has like the fucking waterfall, and the MRT has
Yeah.
like a train going around it or
Did
whatever.
you take the
Yeah.
internal tram that goes past the waterfall?
Yeah, in Jewel.
There's an
Jewel
internal
Changi
tram.
Airport.
Oh,
Yeah,
there is.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
a SkyTrain.
Sky-
You didn't
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
it.
I think I did it on my second or third time coming into Singapore. The first time, I think I was already at the terminal that was it Terminal 1 or whatever that is already like connected to Jewel, so you could just like walk. You just like walk out.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I almost got ripped off by the airport internet card service where like it was Singtel or whatever. It was like again, don't quote me on this. I'll have to probably go back to find the actual numbers later, but it was something ridiculous where it's like 50 USD for like 10 gigs. But then I remember going out to like a Singtel outlet like in the in Singapore itself, not at the airport, and then it was like half the price or whatever, or going to 7-Eleven or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I don't need to. If I could just wait to get into the country or have a friend pick me up, then I don't think I need to buy this right now. But anyway, that's beside the point. No, but like I loved how the country was, loved the infrastructure. I'm pretty sure you guys get that a lot.
The public transport.
Yeah, I love
you.
the public transit. I love how, I guess, quote unquote, like modern the city looks like, but then you still preserve some of that, like, I guess, like third worldness, I guess, when you go to like night markets, when you go to like Chinatown. I mean, when I went to Chinatown, that reminded me of Taiwan, honestly. It reminded me of just like going to a night market in Taiwan. So I really like that. And then about the con itself, yeah, I like the venue. It was interesting, like outside patio, water like fountain kind of thing. Then you've got like the
swamp
inside
coolers?
panels. I was actually happy with the numbers because, you know, it was like the first, you know, it was the first year LAFC was being held. So I was like, okay, I really wanted it to succeed. I think I just got the regular ticket though. Whatever
thank you for
it was
this.
called. And then it sucks. I really wish that it got to me like Kaiyoki or some other first beforehand, because I remember Kaiyoki, didn't you say you had like a room to yourself that like you and one other person used? And then I had a room to myself that I only used. Like I literally paid like 300 USD for 2 nights because one of my roommates didn't show up.
So,
Oh,
do you want this story from my angle?
Okay, go
I
ahead.
hired out one of 4 essentially presidential suites.
Mhm.
And that was what I was having to myself.
Wait, oh my god.
Wow.
Isn't a presidential suite like $1,000 per night or something?
Yeah, I paid $4K for like my stay in
My-
that hotel.
Dude.
Wow.
I wanted to use the room as a
Wow.
workshop and as like a con office as well.
But did it get
But
did
we
it get used as a
didn't-
con office?
Nah, it didn't really end up being needed as a con office, so I ended up loaning it out to like folks in the community for like little mini meets. Don't tell the
okay,
hotel,
that's
obviously.
Okay.
But they assigned me like a PA and everything. It's great. It was like, this is like X person's name. If you need anything, you can find them. And we're like, oh, okay. They emailed me and introduced themselves before I was arriving.
Wow.
I was like, oh my
you
fucking
did
god.
get the presidential suite, so that's a lot.
You're the
I wasn't
president.
expecting this. I was expecting a big room, and that was it. Oh, the room is beautiful though.
Do you have any pics?
And well, do you remember the room that Pepper and Fox
Oh, yeah,
both
yeah,
got?
yeah.
Yes.
It's the
I
same. Yeah, it's the same kind of room as that, and the like whole huge
Party.
expanse. Well, yes, the party, but the fact that you can see like I think 180 degrees or more.
Ah, right, because the corner was it like the corner like room thing.
Yeah, and so that was just like a
Mhm.
a window that was 180 degrees, and you can just see everything from it. And it
Sure,
had
sure.
like automatic shutters and stuff. It was great.
Wow, I really need to go to this place. This sounds like a great convention.
We're no longer at this hotel.
Yeah, we're no
sadly.
longer at the hotel anymore.
I'm sorry. Also, it was very expensive. I don't recommend you to get this room.
But you know,
It's-
it's a hotel that's primarily for medical tourism, so
yeah.
a lot of it's right next to the hospital. So if
So if someone throws out, they
That-
go there.
not like it's like
someone
if
was,
you're going
like,
for
coming
like
in
expensive
for an
treatments
operation,
and stuff.
yeah.
Sure.
And then like you want to rest in comfort, so you just hire a good room.
Mhm.
And then you just cross the road to the hospital, do your
Yeah,
thing,
it's great.
go back.
I can't tell you how nice it is as a staff member to have safety plans that were just like, yeah, just go to hospital. It's across the road.
Yeah,
It's so good.
A&E.
It's so
right
good.
Changing gears, let's talk about a Western convention, Furdu. So I have some experience with the Australian furry community, basically just on YouTube. You know, you have Pakaru, you have
Yeah.
Sky, you have Fox.
Fox Veritas. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure at least one of them showed up to Furdu, right? When you were there.
Oh, more than one.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely more than one. I'm trying to remember because I didn't really have much time with them sort of in person at those cons. But I'm pretty sure Pocari was there and Furito was there.
Trying to remember, was one of them a guest of honor at Furdu?
Pocari has been a guest of honor at WAF, but I'm trying to remember if they've ever been a guest of honor for Furdu, and I don't think so. In fact, I'm pretty confident they haven't been, at least for a year that I've also been an attendee, they haven't been one.
Ah, all right. Maybe because there's like Golden Coast, they're like what is it, Neon Fur?
Yeah, I know, yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
Neon
sure they're actually involved as a staff member for Neon Fur.
Right. Isn't Neon
or
for
a
technically
chair or
there?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Pocari has heavy involvement with the running of that con down there.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, I love her. She's like the best lesbian aunt of the Australian furries. But moving away from that, what are your overall thoughts of Furdu?
Oh gosh. I might have like a sad story to tell, but I'll let Hollud do that first.
Shouldn't we get the sad stories out?
No.
the way?
It only makes sense after we talk about 2015. How was 2015?
2015. Okay, so Furdu 2015 was my first ever convention.
Yay.
Yay. That's why Furdu has kind of a special place in my heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
As does the Gold Coast, as does the fact that the hotel is just like 3 minutes away from the beach. It's super convenient, super
The
nice.
moving hotels. They're
Yeah.
also moving hotels.
Well, the whole stretch is just hotels, but
Yeah.
it's a special convention to me. 2015 particularly because there was like a major storm that I think it disrupted quite a few people's travel plans, like this massive storm thing.
Yeah.
So, but I think subsequently after that, all the years, it's been really nice weather since then. As a Western convention, it is very chill.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it's very chill as compared to, say, Western conventions, like, say, Anthrocon or TFF or MFF, all the big conventions. From what I see is that over in America, the conventions have a lot of events packed on top of each other, so it can feel a little bit rushed. But in Furdu, it's almost like 1 or 2 events max per hour, and they have lunch breaks and dinner breaks, and it's like, what is the concept of lunch and dinner?
I don't have to choose between food and con.
Precisely, it's so nice. It's so nice.
So I think it's a thing with the Australian cons in general is that for a lot of Australian cons, it's sort of an excuse for people to see each other, because unlike, say, American cons, when a con like Furdu happens, loads of folks are coming from interstate. So imagine, like, I don't know if America has a con like this, but there's only one con that everyone, West Coast, East Coast, doesn't matter, flies to every year. So, and that con is Furdu for Australia.
They do have that in America. I want to clarify. Like,
I think it might be. I think it used to be Anthrocon, and now it's more MFF. But yeah.
Yeah, so that's Furdu for Australia, and it's only tiny, like 800 attendees. Well, because the hotel can also only hold 800 people.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Which is why they're moving hotels.
They are?
Yeah, Furdu's this weekend, my dude. Furdu's been running like this entire weekend.
Furdu has been going on,
and they made the announcement.
They did
recently. Yeah, Hollud.
Oh, I've been busy, but damn, yeah, like finally, like yeah. I mean, that's the thing about.
Foxy is so happy.
Yeah. Furdu has been. That's crazy. Furdu. Like, I guess Australia is safe enough that Furdu has been going on this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's okay. It's also terrible because it's like it's fortunate that Australia has been able to run a convention, but it's so, I don't want to say depressing, but it's like every time I look at my social media, I gotta look away. It's all the feels. It's all the
big old FOMO. You know, they had the fireworks festival again.
Oh no!
Like, obviously not as big as like the previous years, but it's still like there. Breaks my heart to like not be.
But I'm super glad that they are moving hotels, because I think the past few years they have been hitting kind of like the cap. We've been stressed for space, so it's kind of good that they're branching out to another hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Kaiyoki, your sad story now.
Okay, I was hoping you would go a bit more into like 2015 as a whole, but yeah, so that was Hollud's first con, and this was one of my first cons coming back from Singapore. So I was spending quite an extended period of time in Singapore to complete my conscription, and this moving back to Australia, starting my course in psychology. You know, I was just missing people a lot, and so this was my chance for like, hey, I didn't realize, but a bunch of Singapore and Malaysia and, you know, folks from the Southeast Asia were coming to an Australian con. And I was not expecting that at all. I knew a few people were going. I didn't know quite how many people were going. And I was seeing all these people again, which I thought I wouldn't be able to see for like a whole year. I had a bit of an emotional response at the airport when we were saying goodbye to each other. And I think I was definitely like crying a lot getting on the plane. And the flight attendant was just like, "Are you okay?" He'd be like, "Maybe." And then I sat down and I just kept crying for like an hour. And then the attendant just like handed me 2 tissues and like a bottle of water wordlessly, and I'm like, "Thank you." The flight was like 3 hours long. It was just me like crying for the first half of it.
Okay, hey, if it makes you feel any better, if it makes you feel any better, I cried at Furcon 2016.
Yeah. Really?
we went for ice cream. It was our last day. I was supposed to go back, and we were all at, I think, Kuala Lumpur Convention Center, just being tourists and all. We were about to leave, and then I broke down.
Lots of feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, cons are something special, I think, to both me and Hollud, in sort of similar and different ways.
Yeah.
So now that we've kind of talked about both conventions, an Eastern and a Western one, can you tell us a bit about how they're similar and maybe how they're different?
I think loosely there is some structural similarities. I think maybe it's nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. You have your opening ceremony, you have your closing ceremony, and everything's kind of loosely, everyone has panels that they have to go to. There's the fursuit walk. So everyone, I think, has adapted the Western style. I think big cons in America pioneered that structure. I think the differences is that, particularly for maybe JMOF, because it's another of my favorite conventions. JMOF has taken on more of a cultural spin to it. It is uniquely Japanese. Yeah, also because of the character designs, they have a more of a kimono style. I think I heard it referenced in a couple episodes before, so I won't touch on it too much. But you can
Thanks
tell.
for watching. Sorry.
You're welcome. Yeah, but Japanese culture has influenced the convention. I mean, if you look at typical Japanese formalities, they thank everybody, they bow. It feels that has kind of set itself apart as compared to say a closing ceremony in a typical Western convention. And I do enjoy the fact, I think a previous episode referenced the Dead Dog Party. That is a complete game changer. I feel that's a complete game changer in terms of conventions, and I really, really do appreciate the fact that they organized the Dead Dog Party, and the fact that they sell their own sake. That's so
sell their own sake?
dope.
I know, right? Yeah,
do you have a
has their own
picture?
sake.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
in the
have
video.
pictures,
It's in
I have
your
videos.
own.
thank
Your
God.
own podcast has a little thing on it.
Yeah.
How could you?
Yeah.
That's
I
so
think
cool.
in 2019 was the first batch they did, and at the Dead Dog Party, they did the whole ceremony of breaking the sake barrel. I have a video if you want one, but they did it in 2019, and they specially produced the sake for the convention.
Damn.
It has its own custom label. Same thing with 2020. All the con merch in the world can't match up
I know, right?
to that. It's like if you go to a Western convention and they sold you hey, try my Texas Furry Fiesta beer. It's like, holy crap, yes. Or the Texas TFF barbecue sauce. Hey, I would buy that in a heartbeat.
That sounds like a good idea, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully the staff
I
is
would
listening
love
to
that.
this podcast.
Look, Singapore we love our food, so anything food related is gonna catch our attention.
So you're saying that you guys should sell Singaporean laksa?
Yeah,
LIFC.
it's a plate of chili crab.
LIFC chili crab.
LIFC
Yep.
chicken rice.
LIFC durian.
Oh, please.
Nice.
Can we do it?
Growing in your backyard.
Yeah. No, but that to me, I think there are similarities between the two, and I appreciate them. I like the structure, but I also do appreciate when conventions take their time. Furdu, for one. I think more conventions really need to think about spacing out programming and giving everybody a chance. JMOF did the unique thing, and they are actually doing now a 4-day convention, which I think is quite smart, but I think it's also there was some discussion that it could be for commercial reasons, because JMOF always clashes with the coming of age ceremony. So every last day of the convention, the whole hotel has to be like split into like zones. So it's like, oh no, fursuiters in the hotel lobby because there's like a huge bunch of graduating kids coming for their coming of age ceremony thing.
Oh, I didn't know they had something like that.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
it's every year. So every year we
Oh.
go, they cordon off and they put announcements to say, please do not go into the lobby because that's where all the normies will be. And then you see like teenage kids coming out, strolling through the lobby, and then intermingle with fursuiters. It's so funny, but yeah, I guess it's a way. And because in Toyohashi, the Loisair is the only big hotel in the area, so yeah, I guess the 4-day convention would help them in that sense. Not a lot of places can pull it off, but I'm kind of glad they did.
That reminds me of, there was this one convention in Indianapolis where furries collided with a fraternity, and they ended up having a whole beer chugging and like just social gathering between the two. Like at first they hated each other, but then somehow the head of that convention and then the people in charge of the fraternities events and stuff like got together, came to some conclusion, and then they all became beer drinking buddies by the end.
Friendship is
That
magic.
is cool. Yeah.
Um,
Oh no! I do not like that tagline, but
All right.
One of the things that Uncle Kage has been a guest at Furry, and one of the things that I've sort of imparted from my time speaking with him is that I feel his influence on convention teams, furry convention teams across the globe. One of the things is probably how they deal with adjacent external bodies. It's one of the things you don't really think about unless you are running a con. But he's developed quite a interesting sort of unique philosophy on how to deal with that. And it has worked for him, and it continues to work for, I guess the cons that employ it.
yeah, I agree.
Buy them booze.
What? No,
Buy them
no,
booze.
not that.
Yeah, one of many things.
So let's talk a bit more about the fandom in Singapore in itself. How does the general public outside of the fandom view furries in Singapore? Is it like an extension of cosplay? Is it its own thing? What is it like?
Do you remember AFA 2013, Hollud?
Yes, I think so.
Do you remember walking through like the sort of the lobby floor area and being heckled?
Was it the one at Suntec?
I think so. Yeah, it must have been Suntec because
Yeah.
I remember catching a suitor as they slipped down the stairs.
Okay.
And I
think-
very distinctly remember those stairs.
All right. I think it basically falls into two categories: those in the know and know what furry is, and those who don't.
And those who have
AK.
been freaking out because the giant dogs appeared. I
Oh,
love
dragon.
it.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it mainly falls into those two categories, and it's largely split by age. So those in the know, I think like what Kaiyoki alluded to was heckling. They kind of got some idea, but they may not have that much idea. It's whatever they see in popular culture.
Pretty much like the general internet zeitgeist of furries are X things. CSI was, I think, roughly
Yeah,
affecting that time period.
Yeah, it's probably like post CSI. So
It's definitely
I don't
post CSI, but
Yeah.
the public perception was still largely informed by CSI at that point. And yeah, there's a lot of I'll say a lot. There was like 2 or 3 instances of Yif and Hell, so on and so forth. But again, these were from very weedy small children who
yeah,
were talking to people who were much larger than them and also much better protected in their fursuits.
That's right. But yeah, like I think the influence of CSI is mostly people who are familiar with the internet.
Yeah,
Like they
we were at
Google
an anime
stuff.
convention. Go
Yeah.
figure. It's definitely
So-
gonna happen.
For them, Google is their strong suit. But for other people, it's mainly we do get a lot of questions like, oh, what's this, and what are y'all doing, and
do they ever think you guys are like a mascot or something? I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
Right.
Lots of people ask what charity we're doing this for.
No, I had one person come up to me and said, "Hey, can we rent you?" And it's like, what?
That's making sense.
Yeah.
Free money.
Like they proposition, "Hey, can you come to my kid's birthday party?" It's like, lady, that's not how it works.
Hey, you couldn't afford me.
I'd be about that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's basically calling you a clown.
I'm okay.
But yeah, it's mainly in those categories. But it's been generally positive leaning.
Yeah. It's one of my best sort of memories, and this applies a bit to Forum as well, but mostly in Singapore, just because of the unique way public spaces are structured in Singapore, where you have a lot of shops around the area as well, and walking past them, you see the attendants like literally freaking out, calling over their co-workers and like trying to get photos and trying to like call the suitor over to take a photo with them. And it's really like I love seeing that reaction from people. I feel that the public at least in Australia, from what I've seen, is a lot more reserved. And it was really cool, and then they're like really manly men. They cross their arms and stand at a distance. Like, yep, those are some cute-ass fursuiters from a great distance away. But like people, people in Malaysia and Singapore freak out a lot more. And it's really, I like that, like giving in to the wonder of it. That's what really I enjoy about suiting in public in Singapore and Malaysia.
I asked that question about, do people think you guys are mascots? Because as I have mentioned on the pod at least a few times, that's kind of how the perception is in Taiwan. So it's like, it seems to be, in my opinion, and again, let me know if this is the situation in Singapore, but in Taiwan, I think that there's a general acceptance of furry because I don't think they have that stigma of it being so weird, because I think that I guess it's just the public perception, or perhaps it's due to cultural reasons, that they think that you're more like a mascot or you're like a cute animal rather than a weird person, or like a weird person wearing some kind of animal suit.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that a lot of suiting in Singapore and in Malaysia, at least from my experience, seems to be tied into some kind of event, usually pop culture, anime. And so you have a lot of other people there, like, someone's dressed as Deadpool or whatever. So it's that association, I think, was there from the start, really.
And I think it was like strategic in that sense, in getting more public acceptance, in the sense that it feels more normal being beside another culture, which also does a lot of dress up, a lot of costuming. So it's like furry adjacent. It's not something totally like, oh, we're just randomly walking around. I don't think we're that comfortable on that level of comfort yet.
You wouldn't really get a dog bomb in Singapore, Malaysia.
Yeah, it would be real difficult.
So I did have one final question, and I think this kind of like owes to the uniqueness of Singapore being such a very small country, basically, city-state. And so I wanted to ask, since Singapore is so small, like how often do you guys hang out? Do you guys have like a central, I don't know, like social media platform that you guys coordinate meetups, or how does that work in Singapore?
So my experience with being in Singapore and sort of doing stuff in Singapore was roughly in the 2012 to 2015 time period. And at that time, I know it's shifted a bit now, but at that time, everything was very heavily based around Facebook. And I think a lot of it was really casual, unless there was like a big serious event like, hey, we're going to go to watch How to Train Your Dragon, then an event would go up. But otherwise, it would be like, hey, I'm going for dinner here. Is anyone nearby?
Yeah. And I think because Singapore is so small, and it's very easy to get around, a lot of meetups tend to, it just happens. It's happenstance, I would say.
Sure.
Like, hey, we go to the same school. Want to meet? It's like, it's very spontaneous. So I don't think there's like like what Kaiyoki said, unless there's like a major event, like we're going to one of the anime festivals to suit up or costume, or if there's something significant on the radar, like Halloween's coming, we're all gonna do this major thing.
Yeah,
Most of it,
or Furry.
yeah, most of it will be just spontaneous. Yeah, because it's so easy to get around. Like 1 hour to get from one side of the island to the other.
Right.
Oh yeah. What is it like now, Hollud? A difficult question to answer. I know. About putting you on the spot.
Facebook has kind of, it's no longer the primary platform. I would say a lot of we've adopted a lot of modern Western social media platforms like Telegram or Discord.
Explain what Facebook wasn't so Western in the first place.
Yeah,
please.
I was asking. Sorry, Mark Zuckerberg.
Look, Facebook had it's its own thing. It's got issues. So yeah, I mean we've been trying to find like an alternative to Facebook, but there hasn't been really a central, unless you want to go to meetup.com or something like that. But no, thank you. But yeah, everyone's kind of like deplatformized.
Yeah. So right now,
yeah.
the way it kind of works, at least to me, is it's very. I would describe it as a loose federation. So ever since Telegram sort of became a thing, lots of friend groups kind of loosely form their own channels and chats, and multiple people would be in multiple groups, and it would be like the thing with like the Asian aunties, or like news spreads faster than people. So like maybe Hollud would find out, there's a Fur who is like some artist or whatever who's coming in from Australia on their way to America, and they're passing through Singapore for 8 hours, who wants to go and have dinner, and that news will be dumped in a chat that Hollud is in, or on Twitter or whatever, and that will just spread like wildfire. And then I call it the grapevine because that's what it feels like to me, because like, I'll hear about it, then I'll ask the person who I heard about it from, and they'll pass it back up the chain and come back down the chain, and then we slowly sort of shorten that chain once we find out who the sort of central person is.
And everybody was asking, hey, what time, where, where, who...
Oh my god! When I used to do it,
sounds like there might be like at least from my opinion, it sounds like there might be like an overcrowding issue, because like if you told like 30 people, then does that mean you'll have like 30 people show up? Or possibly?
yeah.
We used to have that issue quite heavily, which is why I guess a lot of people stopped using Facebook, just because like the effort it took to set up stuff on Facebook, and then sort of getting like 50 people show up, and you're just like, oh, I'm so stressed. I'm trying to like tell 50 people where we're at all times.
I believe the term for it is hoarding cats.
Herding cats.
Herding cats.
Herding cats. Sorry, no.
Summoning and then herding cats, because you get a random message and be like, "Hey, I'm at this place," which is like 2 places ago. Where is everyone? And you have to tell them, we're at this place, we're heading to this place. Or you might even not be sure where you are, because the group is just walking in a direction. And you're just, we're sort of here, and we're heading to maybe this area. And that's all the information you can give someone. And people just kind of coalesce.
Yep.
And it just happens.
And the fact that some people don't know what you look like. They only know you ever as an online name.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Or as like a fox. As a fox, or as a Shiba Inu, or a horse.
It's so like cute to see people be like, I can see them like a mile away, and they're like looking around really nervously, looking at their phone, looking up again, trying to find like exactly which group, and deciding whether it's our group and whether they should come and speak to us. And then just me being like, he.
Cruel doge.
Well, I was that person once. I turned up in an oversized shirt with a violin case that had a ukulele in it. So, hey.
All right, fellow ukulele player.
Ding.
All right, well, that is about it for the podcast. Thanks once again for joining us tonight. Can you two go ahead and tell us where to find you on the internet?
Hollud, do you want to go first? You have a lot more to have. You have a lot more than I do.
No, my social media is easy.
Well, go on then.
It's just everywhere you can find me. Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Facebook. Just search for Hollud. That's HOLLUD.
Your YouTube
C-
channel as well.
.sg. Sorry.
No, I don't.
Plug your YouTube channel. God.
I can't. No, look, I can't plug my YouTube because I don't have 100 people subscribed to my YouTube, so I can't
You got
get
me.
but I don't have like the ability to customize the name. So my
that's lame.
YouTube, my
Okay.
YouTube channel is just like a bunch of letters and numbers. So like,
ZXZ21 or whatever.
so just drop a link into the YouTube, like and subscribe.
How many
All right.
how many off are you? Let's fix that.
I've got 69.
Okay, don't fix it.
No.
I'm gonna try and fix this before June.
And then Kaiyoki.
So I am mostly Kaiyoki everywhere. Kaiyoki. Twitter, Telegram, Facebook. Facebook it's Kaiyoki Munchki. The Munchki being MUNSCHKY. I'm also Shibaka in some places, like I think maybe Telegram and definitely Discord.
All right, well, that has been it for the podcast. Once again, thanks for joining us tonight. This has been Burger,
And I'm your co-host Fox.
and we'll see you on the next podcast. See you then.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.